Hello and welcome to season 3 of the Dhairya Mohla podcast. If you are new here, I'm Dhairya, a counseling psychologist, a human potential coach, and someone deeply curious about people and their stories. Over the first two seasons, I shared reflections on psychology, personal growth, productivity, relationships, and navigating young adulthood. This season is a little different. I'm inviting people from different backgrounds, professions, generations, and walks of life to explore a question that really fascinates me. What does it mean to become who we are? And today's guest is someone whose journey I've had the privilege of observing over the past year. About 15 months ago, we met during our morning yoga sessions in the society park. And what began as casual conversations gradually introduced me to someone who continues to inspire me with her curiosity, creativity, and approach to life. Jugnu Auntie has had a long teaching career and is now a painter. Through her journey, we will explore life beyond a long teaching career, creativity, individuality, meaning making, and what she believes young people today are truly searching for. Jugnu Auntie, it is such a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the podcast. And before we begin, I'd love for listeners and viewers to get to know you. How would you introduce yourself?
First of all, thank you, Dhairya, for giving me this opportunity. It is my privilege, and I am feeling so nice today to be sitting in front of you in this meeting. I am a very down to earth person, and in fact, now I can say that I am a self made artist, although it has been a long journey in my life. And in the beginning, I was a teacher, and I was very happy teaching the children. But now I have delved in my own passion, long passion, which maybe it was from my birth. It was an inborn birth talent that I never realized. And when I started exploiting it about 13 years back, then I started having so much pleasure that I found that I should go on with it. So now I'm a senior citizen and I really love painting.
Amazing. That's amazing, Auntie. And I love that introduction. I think what struck me most is that you didn't begin with a profession, you began with actually who you are. And that brings me to my very first question. What was it like for you to step away from teaching? Because most of your professional life you've spent as a teacher, and then stepping away from that, did that transition ever make you wonder, who am I beyond my profession? So, did it feel like an ending or did it eventually feel like a new beginning?
Actually, it was such a nice, slow progress from teaching to painting. I mean, my painting passion, in fact, amalgamated with my teaching, and I didn't feel that there was any change in my life. And I didn't miss my teaching also because first I was a teacher in a school, and then I started taking tuitions at home
Okay.
because in fact I taught 18 years in school, and then I realized that it had become a little mundane because every 2 years my husband was transferred, 2 to 3 years, so I had to again make my self known as a teacher in a new school, in a new place, Delhi, Bombay, everywhere. So by the time again I had my standing in a school, and I was involved in many activities also, debates, drama, everything. I love being with the children. So by that time, again, it was time to move on. So then by the end of all those years, I felt that this was getting a little too much. Leaving one school and again trying to know a new school. And the most difficult thing with me was remembering the name of the children. I never had, a, I never could remember the names. So I just learned the names of five good children, five very naughty children, and that's all. I couldn't remember. So getting to know new children again, and then that was also one of the hazards. But I thought, ठीक है, चलेगा. But the thing was, I had to move on, and suddenly I realized कि my passion for drawing, painting, should be continued. And it was my elder daughter who one day said to me, she saw me teaching at home, and then she said, "Mummy, why don't you pursue your passion? You are a good you are a good painter." Because she had found one of my paintings which I had done in class 11 in a cupboard some
Oh,
time back, and then she took it out. It was a watercolor, small one, and she had framed it and gifted to me on Mother's Day. So she said, "You can paint. Why don't you paint?" And maybe she saw something in that told her to compel me to go back to painting. Then I took the brush, and it has never been looking back.
amazing. That's really interesting, Auntie, because for many people, I believe that transitioning from work or transitioning from retirement to leisure, that creates a space, not just in the calendar,
Yeah.
but space in identity. And in your case, that space eventually led to something beautiful. And this brings me to my next question, that painting became such an important part of your life post work. How did that journey begin? And I mean, how did painting eventually change your relationship with yourself? What have you discovered about yourself through creativity?
Yeah, so when I was teaching in school, my main subject was geography. I had, and in school, I did not do so well in geography. In fact, when I was leaving school, my marks in geography was the lowest. I had done well in economics and English. My father said, "Why don't you pursue economics or English?" But I don't know why. I said, "But I like drawing. Maybe that will go a long way." And I took up geography, and I used to enjoy drawing in geography. So maybe that was something which took me ahead, and it was always there. And that is why the transition was so smooth. So, and then when I started painting, I saw that I was becoming a better person because it was very meditative. Many times I had some problems. Everyone has problems. We all go through problems. Life is not a bed of roses. So, if I had problems and I started painting with a brush, and then I got so lost in that I forgot all my problems. So, it has made me a better person. Patience also. I had patience with the children, but then it became even more glorified in the form of this art.
Amazing. And I think, I told you also in the park the other day that I
Yeah.
recently took to painting as a hobby. I mean, I had never even held a brush in my hand till the age of 23, and I started to paint and just randomly as a hobby. And, you actually get so immersed in that art form. I have, been connected to various other art forms as well, primarily music. But for me, painting was something completely different. It is, as you said, a very meditative, a very therapeutic experience for me. And I can actually understand how lovely it must be for you to immerse yourself in one painting for, many days at a stretch. And I think you told me that, there are some paintings that take 1 month to complete. And
2 months also. 2 months also.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listening
So,
to you,
uh,
yes. Yeah. Listening to you, it seems that painting was not, simply about creating art. It became a way of understanding yourself, as you said, which makes me wonder about something even bigger. When you look at your life today, as you mentioned in the beginning, that now you are a senior citizen. So if you look at your life today, what gives it meaning? And has that changed from what mattered to you when you were younger? Because I'm sure people of all generations are watching this podcast. So, what gives your life meaning today, and how has it changed over the years?
yeah, so you have asked a very nice question, and it takes me back to my childhood. And then, many things come as a realization when someone suggests something, and you may not have realized about it earlier. Now, when you're putting this question, I realize that I was always fond of nature. Actually, my whole being, my personality was rotating around nature. I loved gardening. I loved how the flowers grew up, and how my father was also very fond of gardening. So I used to be in the garden with him in the morning, And the way he used to take care of the plants, doing budding in the roses and looking and mowing the lawn, I used to help him. And it was a passion, like I want to do something with these flowers. So my basic thing you'll see in all my paintings is being with nature. I try to bring life to nature inside the houses. I love making the clouds, the mountains, the flowers, the trees. And I think that is keeping us on in this world where we are torn by so many wars. It is nature which is saving our lives. So I try to bring nature in the house, and it has given me a better, it has made me a better person. And I really like it when the paintings become alive.
Mm-mm.
Gives
And
solace.
it surely does. And as you are saying now that, nature gives you a meaning in life, I believe that I really relate to this point as well. Because whenever I find myself, sitting in a park, just observing nature, observing flowers, clouds, trees, it really gives me peace. And, I also believe that the younger generation who is so involved in social media. I believe it's not just limited to the younger generation now. People of all generations are so involved
Yeah.
in social media these days. And it really is very difficult to make yourself sit at a place and calmly observe nature. Just observe, not doing anything, and just observing and sitting with yourself. I believe that act in itself makes life very meaningful. बट बचपन में क्या आपके लिए ऐसा था कि आपको जो चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट लगती थी अब वो उतनी मीनिंगफुल या इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं लगती हैं?
Uh, Studying, studying was very important because that was an age when we got married very soon.
Okay.
So all the time studying, and you have to pass the exams and you have to do well. You have to show good grades. So that hassle is not there. In fact, we are so free of that hassle that I feel that everyone must enjoy this part of your life, doing something meaningful, something creative.
Right.
And painting is one form where you are so you become creative. Maybe there is something like talent also. You must have some talent, otherwise maybe you will not be able to do what you want to. But if you don't have that, leave it, go for something else
Mhm.
which itself will be creative. There are so many things.
Yeah.
So if you are creative, I think you'll start enjoying nature also. If you are creative in any form, whether it is music or it is dancing, you'll enjoy nature. Even if it is when it is very hot also, I feel that there is some peace there, which we don't have when we are listening to all the news around and being caught in the mundane chores of life.
True.
Make life interesting. It makes life interesting.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think, about 2 months back, I remember this incident that happened. It was a full moon night, and I was just sitting in my balcony and I observed the moon for 40 minutes. Just observed the moon for 40 minutes while some ghazals were playing on my phone. That's it. And if I share this experience with other people of my generation, most of them would probably say, "Are you crazy? What are you doing? How can you just oh, how can you just sit and observe the moon for 40 minutes? What is there to observe?" But I observed its movement, that वो यहाँ से वहां चला गया 40 मिनट में. एंड लोग नहीं देखते ये
ये
चीजें, उनको
सुंदरता
लगता
है.
है बहुत बहुत नेचर जस्ट
Beautiful.
गिव्स यू.
कितना सुंदर है.
Yes, absolutely. Yesterday also, I was just standing in my balcony and I was just observing how different all the leaves are, how different all the birds are, the chirping of the birds. All these things give meaning to life. As you said, nature in itself gives a lot of meaning. And I think over the years, as you have said, our sources of meaning evolve over time, and you have had the opportunity to witness that not just in yourself but across generations as well. You have seen multiple generations grow up, and this brings me to the next question, which is, what do you think young people of my age or people even younger probably, what do you think young people today are searching for in life?
Actually, they don't know what they are searching for. You know, they are so confused. They are so cluttered. Their brains are so cluttered, and they are always competing. उसके पास क्या चीज है मेरे पास नहीं है, मैं उससे बेटर कैसे करूं? And then there is a lack of humility. They have forgotten what it is to be humble. If you want something, if you want to compete also, you can ask humbly कि ये तुमने कैसे किया, मैं भी ये करना चाहता हूँ. But that they are lacking in that. Why? Because they think that they always think of going forward. They don't know that once they are humble, humility will take you a long way. There are things like pride, hatred, envy, which they are going through. And then they are so confused that they start having some problem. If you have a problem, share it with your friends, with your parents, or with your peers, and you can get over those problems. If you let everything stay there, you will not be able to enjoy solitude. And solitude means introspection. I think every child should sit quietly, meditate. If you don't know what is meditation, try some yoga. YouTube खोल लो. आज तो इतना कुछ तुम्हारे हाथों में है, हमारे पास तो था नहीं. कुछ एक्सरसाइज प्राणायाम या कुछ भी कर लो जिसमें तुमको अच्छा लगता है. Then you will feel more peace. Stop competing with others. पहले तो हमारे पास इतना कुछ था नहीं. So it is, everyone should go for some introspection. They will not understand, some children, what is introspection, because they're always forever thinking what to do next, what to
Absolutely.
do next, so that people will appreciate me. If people don't appreciate, doesn't matter, because everyone is trying to compete. So let things go, let your mind be clutter free, and do things what you really like. Once someone told me, why don't you do meditation? I was going through some problem. So I had got his meditation. Will you, anything you enjoy? It was a doctor, a general physician. She said, anything you enjoy, you do that. That is meditation. If you like being in the shower for some time, go for a long shower, cool shower. So I remember that. So it is like that.
True, true.
So we have to let things go. If you don't get along with anyone, don't be so offended. Just change your path, because we all are so different. No two human beings are the same.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think being in this field of psychology for the past 6 years has beautifully taught me that no two human beings are the same. Even we are not the same from one day to the next. Our, mood keeps shifting, our feelings keep shifting, our thoughts, our emotions, everything keeps changing, everything keeps transitioning. And I believe, as we were discussing earlier as well, social media and this, minute long content that even people don't have the patience of watching and they'll scroll through it is something that is also impacting their ability to sit with themselves. It is impacting their ability for introspection. As you said, that, introspection is something that's so important irrespective of age. I think people of all ages should, indulge in introspection, but because of this social media, we are so trapped in this and we don't know how to get out of this. It is such a sad state of affairs.
Very sad. Very
Yeah,
sad.
absolutely. And I think, as you said, that there were not many opportunities, when you were younger. There were not many opportunities.
Yeah.
Today, there are so many opportunities. And why do you think young people, many of them still feel lost despite having more opportunities than ever before?
They are lost because, we should all have an aim in life. Like just getting up, getting dressed, going for your workplace, coming back, eating, sleeping. That is not what is real aim. You should have aim in the morning, like we were taught. When you get up in the morning, you should thank God, if you believe in God or any creator, for giving you one more beautiful day. That is what I learned from my childhood. And you should think that what should I do which will be a little better than yesterday.
True.
Anything good for someone, helping someone, or being creative, or planting a small plant, adding something to the nature.
Mhm.
So they don't understand this thing. They just think, अच्छा अब एक दिन हुआ चलो फिर दौड़ो भागो. So that is not life. If you don't have a aim in life, you are not focused. That you have to do something good so that by the end of the day, you will feel that, okay, my day was well done well or well done. And you will feel good about it and you'll go and have a good sleep also. आजकल तो स्लीप की प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है छोटे बच्चों से ही,
Mhm.
क्योंकि उन्होंने किया ही नहीं, उन्होंने अपने प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व किया ही नहीं दिन में, और बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स लेके बैठ गए. इतना प्रॉब्लम्स भी नहीं है, छोटी छोटी बातों में नहीं उलझना चाहिए.
Mm, mm, mm. Right. And that makes me think of something that you mentioned earlier, that painting, nature, singing, dancing, creating basically. I wonder if those things play a bigger role than we often realize. What is your opinion on that? Because I remember that, someone asked this question to a group of young adults, that what are your hobbies? And the answer that they had was sleeping and scrolling. And that was so
Oh
sad
my God.
because sleeping is a
Very sad.
basic function. Sleeping, everyone sleeps, that's not a hobby. And scrolling is something that you're doing just to distract yourself. That's not a hobby either. So that makes me think, what do you think? What role do personal interests play in helping us stay connected to who we are?
Yeah. So in fact, what you mentioned about scrolling, actually they're scrolling to run away from their problems, to keep their mind distracted from the real issues
True.
and passing time. In fact, I've seen children playing ball, just kicking the ball from here to there. Now, if you're really interested in football, ask your parents to enroll you in a proper academy so that ultimately you can become a good footballer. There's so many things you can do. So it is like have a purpose in life.
True. And personally, I believe I can say this for myself, that, of course, when you are a young adult, you're navigating so many things all at once. And I understand that very well, that, you're trying to navigate your career, your academics. If you are, you're trying to build a name for yourself, you're trying to do a lot of things all together. Apart from that, you're trying to manage all the relationships in life with your family, with your friends, with your community. So it gets very difficult. I do realize that. But still, I make sure that at least for half an hour every day, I spend time with myself doing something different every day, whether it's reading, whether it's painting, whether it's singing, whether it's writing, whether it's creating content, whatever it is. But that is really therapeutic because it makes me feel connected to myself. Otherwise, you all the day you're connected to other people. But when exactly do you get time to connect to yourself? That is the time that you have to take out. Because if people look at their screen time, I'm sure it will be more than 3, 4 hours a day. And they can't say, I don't have time. They can't say, I don't have time. It's just that, cultivating hobbies, it's not a part of their priorities. But I do feel like, it should be. And I will add a few of your paintings also here that you have shared with me.
Yeah.
They're lovely paintings, such beautiful paintings. And I believe that the younger generation should learn from Jugnu auntie as well. That there is no age at all. There is nothing like
Yeah.
that I'm too old for this or I'm too young for this. You just need to have the passion for it, and you just need to be consistent, resilient. And as auntie said, that some of her paintings take about 2 months to complete, and she has that dedication, she has that discipline, which I feel the younger generation is also lacking. Because if we don't get immediate results, we are like, oh, no, no, we don't want to do this, let's move on to something else, let's move on to something else. And if you really want to do something in life, discipline is something that we need to learn. And I think that's something that definitely the younger generation will learn from you today, Auntie, for sure. And
Thank you so much. Thank you.
for sure. And do you think, which brings me back to, what we have already discussed, that what have you learned from spending time with yourself? Because I see you in the park every day, every morning. You spend about, 1.5 hours every day with yourself. Then you said that you go home and you begin to paint. What have you learned about yourself over these years by spending time in solitude?
Yeah, so I used to exercise, but I was not so consistent and disciplined earlier because of being a teacher, I didn't get time in the morning. So I used to wonder when I used to go in the bus and I saw someone walking. I used to feel so, I was filled with envy, in fact, that these people have got so much time to walk and I am not able to walk. So maybe there was some latent eagerness in me to be in the nature and be with myself, which I was not getting time to do. So once I left teaching and I started going to the park every day, I found that people used to tell me that if you exercise and all, you'll be so tired. How will you do the other things? Because I have got other hobbies also. My plants are there. I like reading also. I love music. I love cooking too. So they used to say, no, you'll not have so much energy. But then I found that I was filled with energy, a lot of positive energy when I came back home, and it is still there. So I don't think about my age at all. When I come back, I'm able to do all the chores, and happily I do. And you said I start painting. I don't get time to paint in the morning. I look for that peaceful hour again when there will be no courier, there will be no press wala, no maids coming, and then I can peacefully sit with my painting.
Right.
So it has been like that. I have learned a lot about myself, what all I like, and I can still look forward to the second part of the day,
Mm.
even after doing all the other things. And I'm still having energy, and I hope I go on like this.
For
So
sure.
everyone should have. You should not be thinking ki, no, my daily routine is like this, and by the end of the day, I'm tired. Everyone should have some passion, something to do. And it's not that we don't have. Every person has got some talent. We are not able to bring it out.
Mhm.
No person can say that I don't know anything, I can't do anything. You're just trying to run away and not trying to find peace where you can find peace.
True. True. And I think that's a wonderful place to begin wrapping up because many of our listeners are young adults trying to figure themselves out. So, if a young person is listening to this conversation and if they feel confused, pressured, or unsure of who they are, what would you like to tell them?
There's nothing to be unsure of. Don't be hassled by all that I have said also. Listen to yourself. There is an inner self, your conscience. We were taught in school, listen to your conscience. So for that, you have to be at peace. Do some introspection and listen to your what does your conscience say. If your conscience says sleep for some more time, sleep, because if you're tired, you'll not be able to do anything. We need a good sleep, and we don't have to be hassled by other things that are happening in life. You have to be focused. Of course, you have to be in this mill. The population is so high. You have to be competing. You want to do well, but it is not academics only where you will find that I have to go ahead. If you are not so good in academics, you can pursue other things. There are other things. Look for those small things which you are missing in life, and then you will be happy with yourself.
True, true. And before we end, I'd love to ask you one final question. What is something that you're still learning about yourself?
I'm learning how better I can do my painting. I still know I've got my flaws. I'm learning every day. If I'm not able to do something, I open the my computer and I start YouTubing. For that, I take some cues and then I think, okay, like this I can do better. So learning process never ends. It is endless. It goes on, and we should never think that anything is impossible. The word impossible itself says that I am possible.
True. Jugnu Auntie, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. And I think what stayed with me throughout our discussion was the idea that growth doesn't stop at any particular age. Through your journey from a teacher to an artist, you've shown us that life can continue to unfold in unexpected and meaningful ways. And we've spoken about creativity, meaning in life, solitude, young adults, what
Nature.
they think.
Nature is also, keep nature in your mind.
Yes, definitely. And we've learned what it means to stay curious about life and ourselves. And I think that's a lesson many of us, especially young adults, can carry with us. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your reflections, and your wisdom with all of us so generously. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. And I hope you also had a good time having this conversation.
Definitely. I enjoyed being with you in this conversation, as always, in the park. And thank you so much, Darya, for inviting me.
Thank
Thank you.
you. And to everyone who's listening, thank you for joining us for the very first episode of season 3. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your reflections. Feel free to share this episode with someone who might enjoy it. And don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. Connect with me on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. I post content related to growth and self development on all these platforms. And please follow Jugnu Auntie on Facebook as well. I will add all these links in the description of the YouTube. And until next time, stay curious, keep growing, and keep becoming. Take care.